asthmatic, a lot of gas, in and out of hospital. I had to consider my health. And a friend of mine was doing well with recycling and tried a couple of times, didn't do well. But from 2013, I've been able to provide for my mother and my daughter through recycling. Able to take my daughter to school. I'm able to send whatever I'm able to send. I'm able to buy myself nice sneakers. But the problem started mainly when the city of Johannesburg decided to give private contractors the right to material. We would normally make, I think 2013, 2014, would make roughly 500, 600. If you did a very good work, it would be 800 on a weekly basis, one person. So immediately when the contractors came in, the work went literally down. You find guys making 200 rand a week. There's a lady that's working in Robertson landfill, in Mary Louis landfill actually. She's taking her last daughter to university this year. And she started recycling in 1988. And she's made a living through it all her life. And immediately when the city starts announcing that they're going to start closing landfills, people like her start worrying, I've been doing this for such a long time, what do I do afterwards? So that was one of the reasons why we went and approached the city and say, you are making decisions without informing the people that are going to be affected by those decisions. Because separation at source to us was the simplest way of moving us out of the system. Now, it goes back to the material that we're collecting. When people say we make too much money, it takes 23 bottles to make a kilo. And right now the kilo of this is like 350. It takes 23 bottles to make 1 kilo. So for me to make 500 rand, I need to work and collect these for 2 weeks, roughly. Producers, people that do final products, for example, a company that creates these soccer t-shirts, your rugby t-shirts, it's plastic. They only need 2 of these bottles to make 1 t-shirt. And they can put a price of about 800 rand. And I think that's how I'm trying to show you the difference of value. How do I get these? I travel like 7 kilometers a day. Tomorrow I'll be traveling from Newtown to Felons. Tomorrow. An average reclaimer collects about 200 and 250 kilograms a day. 7 kilometers, that's why we zero fat. 100% zero fat. When I lose weight, come join for a day. But I think the main issue is the livelihoods of thousands of people that are not begging, they're not asking anyone. But there's always a stigma of saying, he's dirty, he's this. Even when you're not dirty, when a person passes through you, you put in your trolley, they start closing their doors. And the strange thing is that the reason why I'm dirty is because of the rubbish that you put in your bin. If you had separated that material from the food, I would be smelling good every day. But because you decide to add everything and sanitary pads and what this and what this and what this, automatically I have to wear balaclava because all that thing smells and people think we're criminals. It's winter, it's 3:30 in the morning, it's cold. I have to wear balaclava so I can be able to see the road. And people will say, we're criminals. It's some of the worst stories that we hear. Jabu, 2 weeks back, actually got into an incident where he saw 2 other reclaimers being run down by cars. One of the reclaimers literally cut in between. And they say, stop with these trolleys of yours on the roads. But we're collecting 80 to 90% recycled waste. You're not complaining when we're doing all these nice statistics. But when we're on the road, you're making noise. Give us chunks. No, we'd rather give you. Last time they were offering us these cards that apparently they claim they carry like 1 ton. and you can drive it, it goes up the steel. The first question we asked them, are you going to give us licenses to drive those things? They said, no, we can. The city's like, no, we can try and make bicycle lanes. Like, how long is that going to take? 15, 20 years? Then there's going to be problems of private contractors. You know, the contracting business in South Africa is full of a lot of crazy things. So what we're basically saying is that the city is making decisions that are not informed on the people that are actually going to be affected by the decisions that they're making. When Eskom shares jobs, the recycling industry receives people. When the mining industry, most of the Sotho guys, when they move from Lesotho, they come and say, we are going to the mines. We want to find jobs at the mines. And they don't find jobs. And the only mine that they end up in is the mine in the bin. And trust me, we are taking children to school. We're Asian, some of us. There's people that are funding, they're funding their children's school fees. There's a guy in Boysen. He's doing his last year in civil engineering. I met him on Tuesday. He's doing his last year in civil engineering. There's a conception that reclaimers do drugs and all of these things. But no, for a person that does drugs, this is the simplest way of being able to feed their habit. They don't have to kill anyone, they don't have to mark anyone. So the industry is actually literally accepting anyone. You don't need a qualification, you don't need, all that you need to do, just wake up in the morning and have the guts to go into someone's bin. That is why sometimes people have the wrong perception about us. There's different types of reclaimers, as Melanie was saying. Reclaimers are the backbone of the South African recycling industry. When we say 250 kilograms per person, and you multiply that, what we're busy is talking that roughly we could be 9,000 in the city of Joburg, we could be. That's 2.2 million tons redirected from the landfills on a daily basis. That's the influence that we're doing. That's the difference that we're putting in. No one wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to go save the environment. People wake up in the morning and say, I want to go earn a living. But we became environmental agents by default. We are the ones that are actually doing all these nice 80 to 90% collection rate. The reason why we are demanding recognition is because we are subsidizing the city of Johannesburg, we are subsidizing the residents, we are subsidizing the people that are actually producing this material, and we're subsidizing that with our bodies. It's a problem to your heart when you're pulling 250 kilograms of weight a day and you're going up the steep. It's not good for your heart. I feel that every single day. It's when you find women pulling trolleys up steeps, that's where you're gonna understand that in South Africa there's no jobs. And people don't want to go and beg. People are starting to do something on their own. And the oppression that we're getting from the officials, we've decided not to concentrate on it. Instead, we've decided to concentrate on the positives of the residents that are coming in on board to help us. A month back, we were only looking at the pilot project that we're going to do at Brixton. Today, we're looking at about 5-6 suburbs that are coming in and saying, you know what, come do it. The dirtiest, the most polluted neighborhood in the city of Johannesburg is Forsberg. They've tried every possible thing in the past 2 years. We started working with them last week. They're very happy. We started collecting. Let me tell you a very nice story. Last year, with Joe and some of our friends, we had a march. Aru had a march in Braamfontein, and we convinced all the reclaimers that were collecting in Emaratia that day not to go to work. Normally in Emaratia there's 2 service trucks, so they just collect and they go to the landfill, done. Municipal workers go and sleep at the park, we all see them. On that day, they had to outsource 7 more trucks. We were not there. They outsourced 7 more trucks. It took them 3 days to remove the waste. I think that showed the efficiency of reclaimers. It really showed the efficiency of reclaimers. We are not coming with the mentality of saying, give us money, give us this, give us this. Instead of giving one person a tuk-tuk that costs like 300,000, why not give that truck that is sitting there doing nothing, owned by the city, give it to 20 guys. Then you're not going to have anyone running around the streets with trolleys. Stop giving people private contractors. Let's engage with communities, do educational programs so that we're not going to go into that bin. Let's have a nice agreement where you can come and collect recyclable material at a particular time where there's no traffic, there's no dogs chasing us. People open gates and dogs come out, and we have a lot of reclaimers being bitten by dogs because we're not engaging with communities. So Aro was a perfect platform for us to come and say, this is what we are, this is what we need, this is the support that we're needing from communities. We're not coming in asking people for money, we're asking people for resources. In Bodo, the residents have come in and say, we have a security problem. We get reflectors. The presence around has made a big difference. They are saying, well, instead of taking that material and putting it there by the river, there's a nice place there that we can recommend that you can use there, like a garden site. Why are the garden sites being used for these days? We don't really see the purpose of it. Now the city is saying, you are all over, you're sorting in parks, you're sorting, we're saying, give us the resources that you have right now that you are not using. Then we can change that 80 to 90% to 100%. And we haven't asked anyone to take out any money. It's the jobs that we have been doing. Reclaimers have been doing this job for over 30 years. And people have been feeding their families for over 30 years. It's only now that someone managed to see money out of it that they've decided to try and create a model that will be able to keep the people at the bottom of the food chain at the bottom and keep the ones at the top of the food chain to stay at the top. Let me show you an example of that. This is what we call Tetra Pak, and it's also made out of aluminum inside to keep your milk, and plastic also. So it's 3 different materials. It's supposed to be very high in value, but there's no value for it. That is why most of the time you find reclaimers leave this behind. But it's actually recyclable. The guys at the top of the food chain use their minds and said, let's not put value on that and get it for free. But it's difficult for them to get it for free because pick it up automatically takes it to the landfill. How are they going to get it to the landfill? Because they're busy saying, let's close the landfill, let's close it. So they are trying concepts that they don't understand. We understand them. That's the reason why there's no need for me to collect this. That's the reason why you put it in your plastic bag and you don't understand why are they not collecting it? Where am I supposed to dispose it? That is why we're saying we need an inclusive circular economy where you're going to have industries playing their part. Reclaimers have been playing their part. Residents have been playing the part, some of them, because residents actually do take out material and give it to us. We need an inclusive circular economy to make it a point that when everyone is playing their part, then there's no need for us to go around and say this park is dirty. Then the problem of the oceans is going to be eliminated immediately. Because in a country that's doing such good rates at no funding, imagine if one person could just contribute even their mind. We don't need anything else. If someone to come and say, oh, you know what, I'd rather speak to all of the residents on this road. There's a lady in Finland that's doing that. She's receiving all the material during the week and has actually spoken to one reclaimer to say, when it's full, I call you, you come collect. That's an inclusive system. Now, if it's not inclusive, what happens? You hear reclaimers come in 3 o'clock in the morning, trolleys. The whole neighborhood wakes up. The whole neighborhood wakes up. There's a house in Melville. sorry to talk about this, John. It's properly hidden. And there's no toilet sometimes. People have a hard time. You've been walking for so long. You need to be hydrated as much as possible. And a friend of mine ended up finding himself in a tree this small. And he was trying to hide himself. But things have changed because now residents start understanding each other. There's that relationship. When I need to charge my phone, I go press the buzzer. Can you please charge my phone? I need a toilet. It's an inclusive circular economy. In Newtown, we arrested 4 guys. They were arrested by reclaimers. It's a security change. In Brixton, we're doing schools programs. We started by doing a cleanup campaign. Reclaimers just got up and said, we don't like this corner. Took shovels, started working. That's the very same thing that we've been doing in Bodo. We're not looking for handouts. We are willing to come and work for our work. We are willing to stand up. We've been doing it. We wake up 3 o'clock. We have an 18-hour day, literally. All we need is recognition. All we need is people to just look at us with a different eye. Because I'm not going to go to work looking like this because I want someone else to accept me. I'm not willing to do that. But if you're mature, it's important for all of us to be able to look at how far we want to push this inclusive circular economy. Because industries make it a point that Luyanda doesn't even know how much he earns on a weekly basis. Because this on Monday can be 5 rand a kilo. Then on Friday, maybe the boss of Remade had a fight with his wife. He decides that the price is going to be 1 rand. No one's going to fight with him because the industry is not regulated. No one's regulating it. The most valued material is aluminium can. Remember, this is 3 rand a kilo. This is 14 rand a kilo. But in December, it can literally go down to 8 to 9 rand a kilo. No one's regulating it. They do whatever they want to do. If they decide that they're not going to buy this, what reclaimers do, we have a savings account, what we call it a savings account. When it's approaching December, people start storing material and don't sell because in December you need to start sending money to your families. In January you need to buy uniforms. And people start storing this and you're hoping that, I hope it's going to be 5 rand a kilo. And 2 days before you go and sell, it goes down to 2 rand a kilo. You've literally lost like 70% of your profits. So when people say reclaimers make a lot of money, there's guys right now as we speak, as we were coming in, they were working. And they're not going to sleep. They'll be working until tomorrow when the bins come out, then they'll be working. Those are hard-working men. There's not a drug addict that's going to be able to walk around the whole night reclaiming this. I promise you.